Pete Dog.
What's happening?
Shit, man. It's been a long couple days, man. It's only been 2 days, but it feels like an eternity, dog.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Definitely feels like an eternity. No Ceilings Live, the lunch hour where the players meet, share lunch. We still ain't got a super chat yet. It's been 3-4 weeks. We still ain't got a super chat. Maybe it ain't no super chat list. But check in, man. Hit the comments, man. Let us know you in the house. You feel me? You know the ordeal, man. It's been crazy, dog. Like, shout out to Mr. Green. I see you, C-Deal. Appreciate y'all doubling back for the lunch hour on this Wednesday. Same thing, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the lunch hour with No Ceilings. You know what I mean? No Ceilings Live. Click the link below. If it ain't there, look at the last link. It'll be there today, but click the link below and make sure you subscribe to No Ceilings. The Charlemagne hit me and told me that the podcast number's been going up. You know what I mean? They up 20%. And that's important.
Well, that's good. That's very important.
Yeah. So the live is helping. It's doing the job to make sure y'all go over, click the link below, go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe to the No Ceilings podcast. Check out the last episode that dropped yesterday. It's really dope. Or anywhere you get your podcast from. But we're going to get right into it because I wanted to talk to you about it when I first seen it. And I know everybody else been talking about this thing that's happening with Puff. You know what I'm saying? And look, this is the thing, right? Let me read it so I get the exact definition and get it right. Hold up. RICO stands for Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, a federal law in the United States that aims to fight organized crime. The law was passed on October 15th, 1970 as part of the Organized Crime Control Act.
Anti-Italian prejudice legislation.
I'm glad you know that. Yep. We're going to get into that. RICO's purpose is to prevent organized crime and racketeering from infiltrating legitimate businesses that operate in interstate commerce. The law applies to any enterprise that affects interstate or foreign commerce and includes extended criminal penalties and civil causes of action.
Sure.
I appreciate that, C-Deal. No Ceilings is definitely the illest slept on podcast, but we're going to fix it. I'm definitely going to another level with it, and Pete's going to another level. We're trying to make sure we launch Pete's pod again. So
my level is 1, so you know I'm kind of fixed.
Okay, well, we go work it out. We go get it cracking. But so my thing is the racketeering word. Okay, so
sure.
Let's get into this, right? The RICO Act was created because they couldn't catch mafia bosses actually committing crime.
Yeah, it was for when you kind of try to launder evidence and culpability. So we just say, like, we're just going to arrest a whole lot of you. It would be like if you had a group of 5 people and one guy kills a guy, but you're all in on it, and each one of you says you corroborates your whereabouts, and they go, fine, we're just going to arrest the whole fucking 5 of you.
Right? So, okay, solid, right? Again, right? It really was for mafia bosses because they could catch everybody else doing crimes. Right? They couldn't catch the mafia boss, the head of an organization. That's why the RICO was invented. They could never catch the head of an organization committing a crime, like a mafia family, whether it's Irish, Italian, mafia mob, whatever. They couldn't catch the main guy committing a crime. So, you know, pre that, you had to catch people committing crimes, right? And then you would arrest them and charge them with the crime that they committed. Well,
and when you started getting into a lot
thinking,
I said a lot had to do with the fact that, like, even organizationally, it was very extortion oriented and very much like who's that like Francis? And we talked about that huge multi-million-dollar off the books oil thing he had, a gasoline deal to skip taxes.
Yeah.
They had like infrastructure in place to be able to move commerce outside of the taxable area of Yeah, all this kind of weird off the books money laundering thing. But anyway, say this. That was designed to prevent criminality from infiltrating into business.
Yes.
What's you see kind of with some like Young Thug, or certain times we'll see charges come up with rappers or whatever. It's almost reverse engineering the other way, where you have legitimate money
Infiltrating
infiltrating into criminality.
So yeah. So again, right? We both agree that shout out to Get Dutch Chili. What up, player? Capio, what's happening? See, deal, man. I appreciate y'all putting on for us in Detroit. Much love to everybody who's supporting those ceilings. So we agree that it was made to really, minus what the law says, it was really made to take down the head of a mafia. They can catch everybody. Yeah, conspiracy. That became the conversation. Yeah. The laws that wasn't quite happening, right? The crime, excuse me, that wasn't quite happening. You couldn't convict this man for it because he never committed a crime. So you came up with this concept, right, where conspiracy became what the federal government started working, which made it to where they didn't have to prove you committed a crime. They didn't need to prove you committed a crime. They could say you were a part of this organization and you are the reason all of this crime was happening. And I think that is really that's very chicken. You know what I mean? That's lazy and lame, right? And the federal government, right, gets a lot of credit for being this really successful organization, but a lot of times they make their jobs easy. They don't make the job challenging. Like the state has a tougher job. The federal government has the simplest job. And while I do think they're thorough, I think because all of the laws that's created federally are so open to interpretation that they can get away with pretty much murder. You know what I mean? Like the state, it's hard to keep you from bailing out, right? It's a challenge. The feds make it so easy. Like that fast, Puff offered $50 million. $50 million. Defocus, what's happening? Much love, brother. We see you. Puff offered the federal government, the legal system, $50 million for a bail, right? And they said, no, we think you're going to run. On $50 million.
I would.
Nobody is running on $50 million.
If I had $51 million, I would run on $50 million in his position. No questions asked.
So my question, I wouldn't run on $51 million.
I would have $1 million in Costa fucking Rica. And you couldn't tell me shit.
Yeah, see, no. And that's why I think it's not fair, though. That's why I think it's not fair, because it's like the feds, oh, you going to deny a $50 million bail, like a whole $50 million. You got to give this person a chance to run at that point. That would be the American way. But the federal government is above that. I don't want to talk crazy about the feds. Y'all thorough. Y'all do your thing. I'm not hating on it. But even your conviction rate is a little glossed over. You take people's money that they use to fight it and you keep them in prison. That makes it hard to fight a case, right? Sure. So let me get back to the point, right? So my issue is the racketeering charge. Okay. Shout out to my niece. I see you, niece. I love you to death. Vagina. Anyway, let's say the trafficking charge, even though it's a little suspect, right? The trafficking charge, the federal trafficking charge, because the spirit of the trafficking charge was created, if we both can agree, was created to stop people from selling children into prostitution.
Yes.
Right? Trafficking children, prostitutes, right? That were forced into, that were coerced or forced into that type of laborious work, right? That was the point of that was the spirit of the creation of the trafficking law. The letter is different. The letter is different. The letter says, if you pay a prostitute in Miami and send her out here for sex, in theory, that's trafficking federally.
Yeah.
That is lazy as hell and dumb, right? Okay, so I
wouldn't call it lazy. It's like the opposite of lazy. It's like hypertrophic. It's like everything is written like you said, like a cone. You know, so you, like the small part of the cone is the origin, and it's written in language that leaves this gaping application. And you see it throughout all sorts of laws. It happens at the state level, but it's more common in federal, 100%. And like, then you go through like the grand jury process. I heard the expression like you could get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. So I don't know, and I don't understand really grand jury representation, like how if there's a grand jury out on you, you don't get it. Like you can't send a lawyer there. It's just their side only, and once that's afforded, it's very sweeping.
Well, shout out to DQ. What I want to know is how they got all this information on Puff and couldn't tell us nothing about the high chairs and dirty mattresses in those tunnels in NY. Huh? I don't even know what you're talking about, DQ. That's
I never heard of that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I definitely want to hear about that, DQ. Please hit them comments if y'all know what DQ is talking about, because I have no idea what Cuz is talking about. But look, again, the letter of the law is written to very simple things in America, right? That probably would put a lot of people in federal prison if that was the case.
Yeah.
Right?
They don't want to write two laws is a problem. They want, okay, we're going to have this whole big thing. We're going to have a ticker tape parade because we passed a law. We're going to cut down on young girls getting carried away from here to there. Because part of it is, we're going to crack down on someone getting involved in prostitution and getting run across the country and having a very difficult time getting out of it. Well, at the same time, also, you have, who was that fucking guy they did the Netflix thing about, who went from like Arizona to Utah, and it was jumping the line between Arizona and Utah with all the Mormons dressed like Little House on the Prairie girls, and then went to Texas. That was the stupidest move I've ever seen. You got the police on your ass as a religious cult with little girls involved, and you think, a safe haven? Small town West Texas. That Texas sheriff showed up there and had those girls pulled away in Presbyterian buses with his church written on the side of it. That shit was epic. I'm like, you fucking got this cowboy showed up and kicked the door down to that fucking Mormon place and yanked that guy into jail so fucking fast.
Well, okay, so look.
But they wrote the language to cover all these things.
Okay, and that's my point, right? I'm
the laziness.
Let's say I'm down with, let's say I believe in the trafficking, right? Even though that's a bit lame, it definitely shouldn't be a federal charge if you fly a prostitute from Florida to LA to give you some vagina. That's just stupid. That's just dumb. And again, that's why I think the laws can be a bit used as racial, weapons, right? Because it's like you could pick and choose who you want to charge with that. Right? You're not going to charge every trick flying a prostitute from Miami, even if you're not going to charge every trick flying a prostitute from Florida to LA. Sure. You're just not going to do that.
I mean, talk about like the leverage you could use it for like political, purposes. Like how many politicians get send a hooker to a donor, or a donor sends a hooker to the politician, or whatever the fuck. It'd probably be more likely the other way. But you've got DC, which is about this big. Half the politicians live in Virginia, the other half live in Maryland, some live in Washington, D.C. You take a girl across the street over there, and you're a Republican, and the Democrats in office, shoop, see ya.
Okay, so, but mine is that, right? I wanted to really focus on the racketeering charge. Like, I know what a racket is. Jesus Christ. I know what a racket is.
Sure.
But let's look up racketeering just so I can get the correct thing. Racketeering is a set of illegal activities aimed at commercial profit that may be disguised as legitimate business deals. Racketeering is defined by a coordinated effort by multiple people to repeatedly earn a profit. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's say John Gotti is somebody who got charged with the racketeering charge, a RICO charge, right? John Gotti. John Gotti was organizing murders. John Gotti was, extorting unions. John Gotti was doing a lot of different criminal activities for profit, right? Mm-hmm. Different things. Puff would have to be the John Gotti of buying vagina. I don't understand.
Point, he's a customer.
That's my point, right?
Yeah.
And where is the commercial profit in him buying vagina? Like, that's his crime. That's his enterprise. The whole bad boy gang enterprise. Bad boy gang enterprise. Their crime is they're the greatest consumers of pay for a vagina.
Are they saying, in a sense, that he was using vagina as currency to facilitate deal making?
I see that's what I thought. I had this conversation on live yesterday. What would be racketeering would be if Puff was taking the footage, shooting the footage, and then after he got you with your favorite prostitute, saying, hey, you better give me 26% instead of 13%, or I'm gonna let people see this video. And he made that the consistent of his business habit. But go ahead.
Or he's in a competitive market trying to sign new talent, suggesting that this will pretend that the talent is male largely for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And he's got all these prostitutes. He gets dude come over, get the dude drunk, get him all this pussy and throw it all at him and shit like that, and kind of like sexually coerces the guy into signing a contract with him, and he makes a bunch of money off the guy.
But so yes, right, and those would be the consistent themes of happening over and over again, right? But the reality is that's not what's happening.
Probably not.
It wasn't what's happening.
He didn't have hundreds of acts signed on his label.
Yeah, like. That wasn't happening, neither situation. So I'm like, okay, I started looking through the indictment and I'm like, okay, eventually, right, it must be this is what's happening. But no, he really is the John Gotti of buying vagina.
He put the John in Gotti.
In Gotti, facts. Hosting those parties entails that perhaps. C-Deal, no, it doesn't. That's the problem, right?
Was he charging a $50,000 cover charge or something?
Yes, he would have to charge all the people getting in the party. Even then, that would make sense because that would make him a pimp of sorts, right? If he's
he's running a brothel.
Yeah, that at that point, okay, you can get that off. Racketeering.
It's a brothel, but it's a buffet style brothel.
But even if you take a brothel from town to town, from Florida to Seattle, okay, racketeering. That would fit the spirit of a RICO charge.
Isn't that what those all-white parties were back on Long Island in the Hamptons?
No, they didn't charge you no money. Everything was free. Everything was free.
I thought I could have gone there, but I couldn't afford it.
No, it's free.
It's just personal.
You just had to be nasty and let them, the back doors.
Take it easy.
No, but where is the commercial profit in him being the greatest consumer of rented vagina? I don't get where's the commercial profit?
Oh, it doesn't exist. I don't know.
And this is my issue with R. Kelly. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, as a criminal, I used to sell PCP. I used to get in shootouts, get shot at, ran from the police, roll around with no license, illegally street race. I mean, my list of crimes is crazy. I used to do a lot of crimes. And you know what I mean? To this day, I'll run a red light. To this day, I might still brandish an unregistered firearm. You know what I mean? Because, I get it. Like, I would never say I wish jail on Puff or R. Kelly. But again, when we commit crimes, right, we do have to face accountability when we're caught. And I think that's a fair thing for society. That makes sense to me societally, right? Okay, fair. Fair is fair. If they charge you with a crime, you got to fight your crime because we know that this is against society has all agreed that they don't want this to happen as a mass, right? Fine. My thing is because people are so... And it's weird because we're in such a weird space in current time, right? You can see all kind of people, doing different things with their sexuality. The whole point is not to judge. Like, you would think morality would be at an all-time low because we're looking at the world and it's like, if you're... Three things build morality: religion, the streets, or laws. Three things build morality: religion, the streets, or laws. That creates reality. That creates morality, rather, not reality, but morality, right? That creates morality. So morally, it is different, but I want people, right? I don't care if R. Kelly is a nasty pervert that likes girls that are 15, 16. I think that's weird. But again, that's morally wrong. And when it's a law, it's called statutory rape. Why the hell is R. Kelly being charged with racketeering? Charge him with 10 statutory rapes and prove that. Charge him like you did with the Child Pornography Act, where if you shoot, I don't care if you in a town with a girl that is 16 years old, if you record her, well, no, actually it's not. It's under 16. If you record a girl under the age of 15 in a sexual act, whether consented or not, which she can't legally consent in America, it's a child pornography federal law. That makes sense. Charging for it. Charging for the statutory rape, charging for the stuff he did. Why the hell is he getting charged with racketeering? Why the hell is Puff getting charged with racketeering? Puff is the John Gotti of buying rented vagina. What the hell is R. Kelly racketeering? What is he doing for profit? I went to R. Kelly's studio. This is a real story, bro. I went to R. Kelly's studio, right? The girls can't even look at you. Like, R. Kelly is the most insecure person in the world. Like, the girls couldn't look at you. Like, he's so worried about losing these girls. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if I'm R. Kelly, my door's a revolving door. Man, get up out of here. I got a whole new role. You know what I mean? But again, that tell you it be people mind, man. People mind be messed up because R. Kelly is insecure. He used to, if you leave, you can't come back. That's not kidnapping. If he tell a girl, if you leave, you can't come back, and she like, well, I'm gonna stay here because I can't come back. That's not kidnapping.
It's sort of the opposite of kidnapping, actually.
But see, again, they could play games with federal laws and federal charges, and I don't like that. Again, the spirit of these laws, I really genuinely believe were created in the utmost fair and righteous reason. How the letter is, it can be used as a weapon, and it's being used as a weapon for Puff right now. Why? Where is the commercial profit? I need somebody to explain to me what is the commercial. Look, y'all watching this shit. Y'all explain to me what's the commercial profit that Puff profit consistently from having a freak off. The man kept saying that too. Freak off, Puff freak off. Why are we talking about how many bottles of lube he had? That don't even matter. That's a moral thing. Again,
There was 1,000 bottles of lube there at one time.
A small koi pond of lube was there.
So I was thinking, I was like, well, that's interesting. That would be that would be all right. I could see where like having a lube jacuzzi would be interesting.
You feel me?
A lube jacuzzi.
Why? And again, and this is sometimes I feel like it's disingenuous about the legal system. Again, you're trying to skew the public's perception morally. You're trying to look at him immorally. They did the same thing to R. Kelly. Again, we're judging people morally, and yes, they are guilty of crimes. Puff kicked Cassie ass. He should face spousal abuse. That's the correct charge. He's not a mafia boss because he kicked Cassie ass. This is dumb. John Gotti had 100 people knocked off. They let Sammy the Bull Gravano go. He got 5 years. He personally murdered 19 people. He organized 40-something murders for Gotti. He personally murdered 19 people. He got 5 years because they wanted John Gotti, who probably killed one person. He's the head of... Bro, so much of this stuff is built on like bullshit. It's just horrible.
It's built on bureaucratic career advancement. Like this situation here, this is not that all these people hate Puff at all. It's not that. It's that there's a handful of people that are going to make their career off of this, and they're not going to miss the opportunity because they're shithead people. That's why you.
No, I totally agree. But again, I would like somebody in the comments to explain to me. Y'all in the comments, is 50 of y'all in here, y'all in the comments. I need y'all to explain to me, if it's 100, whatever it is, tell me where is the commercial profit in Puff's charges?
Is that all that it was? Or was this, or was it that he was like, say hypothetically, I haven't looked at all this shit. Was he getting large sums of
No,
cash for performances and spending
no,
untaxed cash on these bitches?
no, no.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm reading it, right? And I'm like, having King PW 310 TV, what's up, player? I appreciate you joining the live. Having baby oil is not a charge, even if you have 1,000 bottles.
It
Maybe
could be
excessive,
considered market manipulation if you buy enough.
maybe excessive, but not illegal. They acted like they found 1,000 birds. Again, that's my point, King P, bro. Like, that's my point. Like, why are we talking? Like, the man in his press conference, right, talked about these. He used the word freak offs probably 50 times. Why are we talking about his freak offs? There's not even a crime happening there except the solicitation of prostitution. That's the crime.
Was there supposedly coerced sodomization of up and coming talent or prospective
Yes.
talent in those types?
Yes.
Was that mentioned in there?
Yes, they did talk about that. But again,
Okay.
that's still not racketeering. That goes into a word of kidnap. That could be rape. That could be even sex trafficking. But you know what the hell? There's no commercial profit in Puff rear-ending some rapper. Not a commercial profit. Again, the letter of these laws are being misused, and because like Black America is in such a false frenzy, y'all in a false frenzy. Morally, like, oh, I can't believe he was having these freak offs and he was sleeping with all of these girls and he might have slept with these guys. Shut up. I hate that the world gets so fucking ignorant. And soon as we, it's the moral thing. Well, yeah, I don't like that person neither. I was talking to Van Lathan and he was like, well, Van was telling me, oh, once he did what he did to Cassie, I didn't care what happened to him. That's a problem.
That is a big problem. It's the same problem we're talking about with Lee the receiver from the from the Dolphins, who got pulled out of the car.
Oh yeah. I forgot his name.
Same here.
Sure.
I don't know how that even happened, but be as it may. And personally, I have nearly been killed several times down here on the road by people doing $130, $140 because they're fucking maniacs, and I don't even like traffic stops. I think that they're a fucking giant. They're a racket. Traffic enforcement is a massive racket. But you doing triple digits, there needs to be some enforcement. But once you start the enforcement, like you can't discard the process for the outcome. That's the issue with the Trump shit. That's the issue with all these other various problems we have with like the runaway FBI and the FISA courts and all these issues. You cannot abandon the principles for the outcomes. And that's sort of like, I feel like what's happening here.
Yeah.
And one thing with this is the other deal, like Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. Well, Racketeer Influenced is
they're not even charging him with the influence corruption organization. They're saying racketeering specifically is his charge.
Ah, okay.
And like every time I try to let them go and be like, you know what? The government ain't governmenting. You know what I mean? Every time I try to, I go look a little further and I'm like, man, the government is governmenting again. It's governmenting again. And again, this is what happens. They catch the public in these outrage, and these very successful people, they happen to look like me, right? They happen to look like me. And they like, okay, everybody's mad at them. We could take the money. We could do this. R. Kelly should be in jail 7 to 10 years. 7 to 10 years would have probably been fair for his charges. But again, people.
What did he get? Like 70?
32.
32?
31 or 32 years. Sammy the Bull got 5 years. R. Kelly got 32 years.
I know people whose dads have been convicted on murder too and gotten out in 20 to 25.
Look, and again, people think R. Kelly's charges have something to do with young girls. That's not his charge. He has one charge for that. That charge carries 7 years max in federal prison. 7 years. That charge, the Child Pornography Act, anybody under the age of 16 on recorded doing sexual acts, 7 years. They charged him with racketeering. They charged him with trafficking, which you couldn't even sleep with R. Kelly girls. R. Kelly, if R. Kelly girl gave you some coochie, he'd have kicked her out. This man was crazy and insecure and retarded. Like, he was so extra over the top. It wasn't like you could sleep with the girls. He wouldn't send you no girl. He not Puff. Even Puff, you couldn't pay. Puff paid for you to get laid. Puff is the John Gotti of buying vagina. Like, why are we here? Why are we at the federal? Why is he not fighting these cases? Charge him for jumping on his old lady. I'm sure they got a federal charge for it. Charge him for solicitation of prostitution for endless amount of times. Charge him for having a small river full of lube, if that's a charge. Charge him for doing whatever crime he did. But so why are we trumping up his charges to a space, bro, to where he's being compared to John? Somebody compared him to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein got charged for trafficking minors specifically. Minors specifically. He's not being charged with anything to do with the minor. He's being charged for racketeering. Like, he runs a mafia. Like, something he's doing is making him money. Puff ain't committed a crime to make money. Puff wouldn't sell a rock. Charging for the guns. The federal charge for defacing the AR-15 is like 5 years apiece. That's 10 years. Give him his 10 to 12 years. Why is this man fighting the rest of his life in prison? For what? He's not, again, you can't give a Fed charge to the John Gotti of buying vagina. This is stupid. That's his whole criminal organization is bought off buying vagina. Oh, he extorted people. He told people if they didn't perform in the bedroom, he paid his money. When I go to Burger King, I want extra mayo on my Whopper.
One could argue that he used the same language.
I'm saying, bro, he paid. Now charge him for soliciting prostitution. Charge him for having those ARs in there that was defaced. Give him the time for that. Give him the time for buying entirely too much vagina. Don't try to make it racketeering. Trafficking, I need to know more. I'm not going to jump out that window on that. But I just want the man to be charged fair. I'm sure he did something wrong. That's why y'all talking to the man, just like y'all would talk to me, like y'all took my mom's, like y'all took anybody else. But at least be fair. Don't trump up the charges, man. This man should be fighting 7 to 12 years. He should not be fighting 30 to life. For buying vagina, brother. Buying vagina is crazy. And black people are so fucking irritated. They irritate my soul. Oh, well, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Every time we get one person doing something because you feel like, oh, he's sitting with those people at the table, shut your ass up. If a nigga makes some money, oh, he with the Illumi. Shut up. All you people is just as nasty. Y'all all on dope. Y'all all drinking. Shut up. You are not the judge of morality. I hate that America can manipulate the minds of Black America with false senses of morality. You're not moral. I remember I explained to somebody, well, how could you say something morally? You're a Crip. What does that mean? Does that mean I have to hit an old lady over her head and take her purse? No. You don't even know what being a Crip is. But you telling me, oh, you being a Crip. You don't even know what being a Crip is. All you know is what color showed you on, they said rocket. That's all you know. Doughboy, you don't know what being a Crip is. Snoop is showing you what being a Crip is. Right now, Snoop is showing you what being a Crip is. You think he's snatching some old lady purses? This is crazy. They do it to us every time. They morally break us down, Pete. They morally break us down, right? And then we flatten out, and then now we don't care what happened to him. So then somebody like R. Kelly gets 32 years. Oh, he was messing with underage girls. First off, 16 states in the United States of America, the legal age of consent, 31. In 31 states, the legal age is 16. Statutory rape can only be statutory rape if the parents don't give consent. Look, he's a nasty old man. I don't question it. And he probably should have been sentenced to time for his crimes, but it should not be 32 years. He ain't make nobody do nothing. And people comparing him to Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was making people do R. Kelly. People throwing pussy at R. Kelly. Oh, young, everybody. He should be in prison for a realistic time for his crimes. That's all I'm saying. Same with Puff. They parading this nigga around like they got one of the greatest crime lords of all time. It's fucking Puff Daddy. You would have thought he was fucking, what's the man they shot at the steakhouse?
Oh God, big such and such.
Paulie.
Tall guy.
Paulie?
Yeah, big Paulie. Yeah.
Like you would have think they called Big Puff. Why are they parading Puff Daddy around like this? Oh, he had 1,000 bottles of lube. Paulie, they had 1,000 people murdered. 1,000 bottles of lube or 1,000 people. What the fuck?
I think that they're trying to play on the idea that it's like, we're going to treat Puff Daddy as though he really is the image that people think Suge Knight was, but also was not.
I swear to God, bro.
There we are. Pass the line.
I'm like, Puffy was the real Suge, except I'm waiting on the real stuff to come out. You mean to tell me the depth of your issue with him is him having nasty part? Boy, y'all all will be in jail. All of y'all will be in jail. Y'all nasty asses. Y'all get off that dope and do all kind of nasty shit. You smoke your little weed, you drink your liquor, and you do all kind of nasty shit. You do all kind of nasty shit. But King P, this is my point. King P, Double 310 TV says he's pissed off the wrong people, and that's who was protecting him. Now they not protecting him no more. Why do he need protection? Because he nasty. He should be fighting 10 years. Puff should be able to redeem himself and come home, get himself, and we could accept him again, and that should be everything is everything.
But look at there is something seriously wrong. Seriously, this has been going on for a long time. There is something seriously wrong with the Southern District of New York federal prosecutor office. It's a fucking mess. It's rot as fuck over there. I'm like it's like the fact. Think about this. There's a whole federal, essentially, like district for just a part of the state. That's two. Everything else is big. It's less centralized. That is so concentrated. I mean, they're responsible for like half the high profile shit you could think of. They're the ones who ran the Epstein thing. They're the ones who had that stupid ass fucking Trump case. Now they got this stupid ass Puff Daddy case. They're a bunch of fucking wannabe Hollywood celebrities ever since fucking what's his name, the old mayor, took down Gotti.
But John Gotti, I get it.
I'm not even talking about.
I don't wish prison on no man, but I understand how society has to work.
Yeah, I'm talking about the other side of the rail, though. Be it Gotti or whoever the fuck. Giuliani went from being $100 cheap Thai federal prosecutor to a one-time favorite to be the president of the United States for a period of time. The cycle just didn't line up. Now everybody in that office thinks they're one mega celebrity conviction away from being God of the world.
That's weird. And they parading this nigga Puff around like he is some type of all-time great mastermind. Shut the boy.
And they're gonna make it look
Mickey
like
Mouse of crime. What are y'all talking about? How you talking crazy because you arrested Puff? And then your whole premise, it went for at least Giuliani could talk about 136 murders. You know what? 136 murders. We're digging up the bodies, and we have Sammy Gravano. He murdered 19 people and organized 42 murders personally. He murdered 19 people personally. You get in the same the press conference roughly 40, 50 years later, 30 years later, and you telling me you got Puff Daddy and he got 1,000 bottles of lube, not 1,000 birds, not 1,000 kilograms of cocaine, not 1,000 pounds of methamphetamines or
he didn't even have 1,000 13-year-olds.
All the people dying of fatty, of fentanyl, all this shit going on, and you got Puff, who got 1,000 bottles of lube. Oh, he has these freak off. He don't got spots where they sell dope at. He has freak off where he pays prostitutes and people come in there and sleep with the prostitutes. And he threatens them saying, if you don't perform correctly, I'll kick your ass. I don't care. I'm gonna kick the man at Burger King ass if he don't put the extra mayo on my goddamn Whopper. I paid for it. Now charge the man for his proper crimes. I'm not saying the man shouldn't be fighting charges. If he committed a crime, fight your charges, but stop trumping up the charges, and y'all stop supporting these people who trumping up these charges on these people.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like being a prosecuting attorney, it should be very easy. It should be very straightforward. Like that's why they don't get paid very much, and they work for the government. It's not even like they work for the government. There's plenty of people who work for the government and get a lot of money. But if you're a good defense attorney and you find a really astute way to frame an argument into some nuance of the law to get a case dismissed, you're viewed as a good attorney. If you win something in civil court, they're doing the same thing. They're using like very complex legal engineering models to build their resume. Not only did I get Puff Daddy locked up, I got him locked up by convincing a judge and a jury that a bunch of lube and buying some prostitutes I was able to argue that into the framework of a RICO charge. I mean, I must be the most brilliant litigator of all fucking time. You should pay me $50,000 an hour.
I feel that, brother. I feel that. Shout out to NC. I see you. This ain't that type of room. I don't care who I don't like. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if it's my worst enemy. Don't mistreat that person. I don't know where that space came from. Oh, I don't like somebody, so I don't care what happened. You's a buster. You cannot let this government mistreat other brothers, even your worst enemy. Even your worst enemy. I don't care if you hate Puff. You shouldn't allow it to be mistreated by white people. I don't care if it's an enemy. In my full gangbang day, when I'm fighting and shooting at the same people, whoever, I'm not going to let 10 white people whoop them. Y'all got to check yourself in this weird space. I swear to God, I don't know what's happening, brother. Y'all is killing me. Racketeering. Where did he make money at? Where was he? He didn't even charge to get in the parties. Where's the commercial profit? Racketeering. They'll figure out some little stupid ass letter of that law to be like, oh, this letter, the way this works, we can. Hey, bro, the reason they can get that off is because you're not standing up for true justice, for true harmony. They're parading Puff Daddy around. Who is Puff? They parading Puff around like they found Jeffrey Dahmer, like they arrested John Gotti. It's Puff. I don't care what mistake a brother make. He's still a brother. I don't care if Candace Owens was getting her ass whooped on the corner by 4 white women. I'm taking off on white, but don't y'all be beating up on this sister. Y'all is crazy. I don't even know where did this sellout mentality come from. I don't care if it's my worst enemy. I don't want him to be mistreated by the government. By the government. That's why I always click with racist white people. Me and racist white people get along because we don't want to be mistreated by the government. Come mistreat me by yourself. Y'all talking about, oh, yeah, Puff, he mistreated. Puff don't mistreat us. People love Puff. I get people offering me to do stuff all the time for no money, and then they get mad that they offer to do it for no money. People is crazy. You get what you negotiate. I don't feel bad for Mace or nobody. Puff changed Mace's life. Oh, now you mad 30 years later because the publishing deal. Brother, I don't care about that, bro. He changed your life.
I hate that shit.
You signed a contract.
And Pimp C said he was the one who got caught in the back of the car with the boy, right? I believe
he did say that. Pimp.
Shout out to Ozone Magazine.
That ain't my point. Like, I love Mace. I'm a Mace fan. First time I ever heard him, 112 remix. He's an awesome artist, awesome analyst, super dope brother. But come on, man, this whole weird space where we start to isolate people because we can't get our way in business. You don't have to sign no contract. And if you sign a contract, live up to the contract you signed.
Yeah, that's read the contract.
Or don't sign a contract. There's a lot of contracts I didn't sign because I didn't think it was worth it. Some of them I regret, some of them I got right. But I'm not going to blame nobody that I signed a contract.
Yeah. I mean, this thing, like even just say like the racketeering part, even the corrupt organization part. Nothing about this seemed organized.
I can understand.
There's no organization.
I can understand the corrupt organization if they hit him with the full RICO joint, right? Because guess what? You could have your people commit this crime. I have my person pay this person off. The consistent action. My issue is the racketeering. Where is the commercial profit? Okay, let's say your organization is corrupt. You hit on your old lady. You abuse Cassie, right? You do the stuff. I don't care what happened. I don't care if she started the fight. You got caught on tape kicking your old lady ass. That is a crime. So guess what? You got to deal with that. Okay, I get the corrupt organization. You start breaking people to not be held accountable. Hey, don't tell the police. I'll give you some money. Hey, don't, hey, you go tell this person, give me the footage. Okay, that's organized crime right there in the spouse abuse. Okay, where the fuck is the profit? Where's the profit? Racketeering specifically talks about profit. Sure. It talks specifically about profiting, commercial profit, the business. In these freak offs, like that brother said, like the brother who was the New York brother that run the federal, he's the lead prosecutor, or I don't know if he's the lead of the office that ran the whole press conference for the Puff arrest, parading that Puff arrest like you did something just because he's popular. You ain't get nobody. You didn't get nobody. Puff ain't nobody. He's the Mickey Mouse of crime. Puff ain't no fucking real threat to no fucking body. If Puff is a threat to you, you's a pussy. How the hell is Puff a threat to you? Puff ain't no, y'all treating Puff like he was running around this motherfucker getting people knocked off. Where? They paraded on TV. It's running on every channel. Like, who is Puff? Like, he got all the crimes going. Like, he got all the spots. He got 30 spots in Harlem going. He got this brothel. He extorting the union. Stop it. Stop trying to act like you got somebody. You didn't get nobody. You just got somebody popular that the public is mad at. And you trying to, like you saying, Pete, it got to be true. You have to be trying to raise your social profile.
Yeah. And I'm assuming without
Puff is, and people trying to like, well, you always knew Puff. You always knew Puff was what? Niggas would smile at Puff every time you see him. Y'all wouldn't even.
Those same people, you know how much it would be. They would be bragging about getting in. I got into a Puff white party. They would be bragging about that shit for the rest of their fucking life.
Yes. Now it's like nobody want to admit they did. And it pissed me off that his people ain't coming out and speaking for him. Oh, morally, he's a piece of shit, whatever. That still is not the same crime. Charge this man for the crime.
I'm still trying to figure out what they're claiming. So like you say profit, there is sort of kind of legitimately two sides to profit. There's profit, and then there's cost or loss prevention. So if you bribe people to keep something under the rug that would cost you $50 million, that's
come on, Pete,
similar.
Come on, that's the letter. That's not what it's for. That's being a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't get the corrupt organization part. There's not an organization that has an end game, and I don't see that. It seems just very compulsive. It just has a compulsive sexual behavioral disorder or some shit like that.
And
it's not necessarily an organization.
Him and R. Kelly are sexual deviants. They're not raping anyone. Charge them for their crimes. That's all I want. I just want black people, even the successful ones, to be treated fair. Yes, they don't do right by the poorest people in the community. I agree. Yeah, they don't. They could do a lot better by poor people in the community. I agree. That don't still mean we should be okay with the government mistreating them. I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. They parade Puff around like, who the fuck is Puff? Even knowing the stuff I know about him, or even if all the stuff is true, he is still not nothing to parade around like you got somebody. Like you taking a real threat off the street. Shut the fuck up. It's Puff. Who the fuck is Puff? Take that, Puff? Oh, some of the artists that wanted to work with him, he wanted to sleep with him. Don't work with Puff. It's
if
real.
They were so fucking talented, someone else would have signed them.
Raping. It's real serial rapists. It's real serial killers. It's real threats to society. Y'all parading Puff around like it's John Gotti and it's a nonstop conversation. Like Puff, come on, bro, stop it. Stop it, man. Stop it. What is going on? What are y'all doing? Y'all embarrassing us. Y'all are embarrassing us. And y'all letting them parade Puff Daddy around like he's somebody because in the back of your mind, you heard he might have got Tupac killed. Because in the back of your mind, there's rumors that Biggie got killed. In the back of your mind, you know, he does a deal with the dead in the back. Shut the fuck up. Stop doing that. That shit's embarrassing, man. Y'all are embarrassing. You should make the government treat your people right. I don't care if you hate them. You gotta make this government treat black people right, especially black people. Like they parading him around and then they showing a Cassie video. That is not what John Gotti did. That is not what nobody else who got a racketeering act did. They did not just get into a fight or beat up their old lady. That is not what happened. Y'all just gotta stop, man. Y'all letting them people just hang all these people and just do this ridiculous, crazy time. Y'all are crazy. This is the worst time to be alive for a black person. The worst. You have no sense of sticking together, man. No sense of it. No sense. No sense. All they do is show, hey, look over here. Look, he had 1,000 bottles of lube. 1,000 bottles of lube. I don't give a fuck if he had an ocean of lube. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, he had a freak offs. Your freak offs. The freak offs. Puff is the John Gotti of buying vagina, bro. That's it. That's all he is. I thought they had something. I thought they was gonna show us he really did spend the money and got Tupac killed. I thought they was gonna make the homie a liar. I thought they was gonna show me he did this to this person. He got this person killed. He got this person. I don't care if he was in a jealous rage and he blew off Kid Cudi car. Kid Cudi should have whooped his ass. Well, charge him for arson. That's what that is, arson. Charge him for arson. Don't tell me a mob boss because he jealous of Kid Cudi messing with his old lady. He blew up his car. That ain't no mob boss nothing. And Cudi's a mark if he didn't do nothing to him. Y'all gotta stop. This nigga ain't racketeering nothing. Ain't no profit. That ain't no mafia boy. He ain't no mob leader. That's damn Puff. He dancing videos and do good deals and win publishing. Yeah, I don't care if he fight his old lady. That's wrong. Charge him with spousal abuse. That's what I don't care. I don't care. That don't make him no mob boss because he fight his old ladies. That make him Mike Turner. Charge him with spousal abuse. I'm sure they got a federal law for some level of spousal abuse that go past the statute of limitation in California. Charge him for it. But you better show me 30 bodies if you parading this man around like you got somebody. Did he steal billions of dollars like Bernie Madoff? You mean to tell me Puff is the John Gotti of buying vagina and I'm supposed to be impressed you did something? Man, you wasting our money and our time. Yeah. And if you don't see it like that, something's wrong with you until they prove that this man was in the crime business for profit. Show me a serial rapist. Show me something else. Don't show me people regretting things that they did with them to try to favor or fancy their own career. Until then, charge him for what he should be doing. Charge him for his crimes. Charge him for his crimes. I'm not asking for much. Don't try to trump it up, racketeering. What the fuck, Puff? Who the fuck is Puff? Puff is the greatest crime lord of the modern. That's how it feels. This is the trial of the century because you got Puff Daddy. He had 1,000 bottles of lubes and he used to have freak off. He spousal abused his old lady. Shut the fuck up. Y'all got to get off y'all moral high horse. Y'all full of shit.
Yeah. I mean, it almost comes off like, well, you know, there were reports of a lot of shit. We sat on our asses. We let it slide. We let it slide. We let it slide. We let it slide. Now it kind of got out that we let all this stupid, tiny, trivial shit slide. So we got to come up with something to make it look like we didn't just say, fuck it.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, and they parading him around like Puff. He's a dope head. He's on drugs. He didn't get nobody. But this is how it works every time, bro. This is how it works every time. And it's always the same trick that they use, bro. It's like when all the stuff was happening in the 90s and they came up with the 3 strikes. And you had some extra over the top people, brothers and sisters, that was like, oh, it's so crazy. And then they let all these people get 3 strikes, like double jeopardy charges. People getting 3 strikes. They might have did 2 violent crimes, but they got caught stealing some candy. 3 strikes, 25 to life. 3 strikes, 25 to life. Because he stole some. That shit's stupid. And this is the same thing y'all doing. And you're going to look up 20, 30 years from now and realize you stupid. And you're going to realize Glasses said you was stupid. I'm going to make sure I tell y'all because I'm going to live. That's why I done lost all this. That's why I lost all this 40 pounds. I'm going to lose another 30, 40 so I can live long enough to tell you motherfuckers how stupid you is. And it's your fault. And I'm not going to let nobody off the hook. I'm not going to let Van off the hook. I'm not going to let nobody off the hook. All you dumb asses who allowing this 3 strike same mentality shit to happen. This man should be fighting 10, 12 years. He should be able to come home and redeem himself. He ain't did nothing past redemption. He ain't murdered nobody. He ain't took nothing from nobody they can't get back.
Do you think that he was offered some sort of a deal and turned it down and now
Hell no.
George? No?
Hell no. Hell no. I believe you, Pete. You right. They want the show. They wanted the show. You right. This is what people are doing. They wanted the show, bro. They want the show. People parade and puff around like they got a real criminal. Like, shut up.
And you know what's coming up soon?
Elections. I hope Trump win so he could pardon Puff. That's what I hope happened. Pardon Puff, Trump. He probably pissed Trump off talking shit. Trump will be like, that's what your stupid ass get. I told you these people would be tripping. Stupid ass.
Hey, you got Kodak out, man. You got Kodak out.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Villains, man. It's so aggravating, bro. It's so aggravating. And people just they parade Puff around here. Well, they used the term freak off 39 times and he had 1,000. But why did you put he had 1,000 bottles of lubes?
Yeah, that's just, again, it's just media clickbait.
1,000 bottle of lube. I suppose it care that he lubing up or he lubing people. Y'all is crazy. And y'all don't even look at it. What's crazy is
I think it's very considerate
anymore. I swear, I think people think that the police are the only ones racist when they just the regular people, not the government. They like, well, the government said it. The Fed wouldn't build a case if it's not true. Shut your stupid ass up. Fed's been doing bullshit this whole time. This is why people don't want the feds around, but y'all don't get it because you so fucking goofy. Jesus Christ, man. Y'all won't even let the man get treated correctly because you so morally outraged that he had freak offs that y'all all wanted to go to.
And that's what it is. Anytime somebody spreads too much pussy around, but not enough pussy around, it's going to be a problem. People feel left out.
No ceilings, lunch hour, Glasses Malone, Peter Boss. Click the link below. Listen to the latest episodes, conversation around Zacchaeus Jones. That was a great conversation about dietary and where it's at in the social media space. Also below is a link to subscribe to the No Ceilings podcast, executive produced by Charlemagne the God and the Black Effects Network. Head over to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, listen to the last episode, and anywhere else you get your podcast from, man. We back Friday at noon, man. We'll see y'all there.